What's up, YouTube? Wanted to come on here and talk some NBA playoffs. The second round is about to begin here in a few hours. And I just want to say I am very, very excited for these second round matchups. The first series I want to talk about, as you can see on the screen, the Cavaliers and the Pistons. I am very, very excited for this series here. The Cavaliers, to me, are a very weird team because they're a team that I think could definitely 100% win the East. They have the talent. You got a James Harden, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen, who for some reason in the playoffs just becomes very soft. But in that game 7, he played really well. Without him, they wouldn't have won that game 7 versus Toronto. So shout out to Jared Allen for stepping up when it matters. The lights were not too bright in that game 7. But Donovan Mitchell is just not really playing his best basketball right now. He always starts off the series, I feel, in games 1 to 3. He is definitely Donovan Mitchell. A lot of people refer to him as a playoff riser. But when the series goes on and teams start, figuring out what he wants to do, he's just not really himself from games 5 to 7. I don't know what it is, but it's just super, super weird. And then James Harden, I actually believe he had a pretty solid series against Toronto. I think James Harden and Evan Mobley were the two best players on that Cavaliers team. But I think if the Cleveland Cavaliers want to beat this Detroit Pistons team, it's going to have to be Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, they're going to need his scoring versus the Detroit Pistons. Can't be having these games where he's scoring 15 points on like 7 for 16, 7 for 19 shooting in that game 3 versus Toronto. If the Cavaliers are going to win this series, I'm going to pick the Cavs in 6. I'm going to give you my prediction now. I got the Cavs in 6. I don't feel great about it though, but I also don't trust the Pistons team either. But I don't trust either one of these teams, to be quite honest with you, especially the Cavs. I thought they were going to handle the Raptors in like 5 or 6, and they just didn't play their best basketball, especially in those game 3s and game 4s in Toronto. Those were awful, awful games from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I do want to give some respect to the Detroit Pistons. I mean, Cade is 100% the best player in this series, and typically I'll be honest, I do tend to go with the team that has the best player in the series, but I'm trying to go away from that because I chose the Denver Nuggets to win the NBA Finals because I thought Nikola Jokic was the best player in the league still. I definitely give that over to Shea now. I just always tend to go with the team that has the best player in the series, and I don't want to do that anymore. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are the better team here. The offensive struggle, especially in the half court with this Detroit Pistons team, they just rely too much on Cade, and I don't think it's going to be enough against a more talented team than the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just don't think they're going to get it done, but I don't feel great about picking Cleveland, I'll be honest, because I just always think they make it harder on themselves, and I don't know. I'm going to go with the more talented team here, though. I do think it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6, but I do want to, again, give respect to Cade. He's the best player in the series. I think he's going to have an incredible series. And if the Pistons are going to win this series, I think Cade is going to have to average 30 plus in this series. And Tobias Harris, they're going to need a lot for him as well. Duncan Robinson is going to have to shoot the ball a lot better. Jalen Duren is going to have to play like an all-NBA performer, especially going against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. He's going to have to step up. I think Isaiah Stewart is going to have to play a lot more minutes in this series as well. I think Isaiah Stewart can definitely be the X factor for the Detroit Pistons in this series. Maybe this is a series as well where Ron Holland can get some more minutes as well. I think he could be useful in a series like this. Although offensively, I'm not a big fan of Ron Holland. He cannot shoot the ball at all, and you cannot have Asar Thompson and Ron Holland in at the same time. But for defensive purposes, I wouldn't hate some Ron Holland minutes. I think you start him off in this series. He didn't get minutes at all, and I think it was game 2 to like game 5. He got no minutes at all, and then in that game 7, he got like the final garbage time minutes, like the last minute of the game. But I definitely do think we could see some Ron Holland minutes as well in this series. But I don't know, guys. This is going to be definitely a good series. I'm going to go with the Cavaliers in 6, though. Next up, my favorite series in this second round, guys. I cannot wait for this New York Knicks and Philadelphia 76ers series. I think whoever wins this series is going to go and represent the East in the NBA Finals. But what a story it's going to be if Joel Embiid can go on this finals run. I'm a Boston Celtics fan, but I'll tell you right now, I do not hate Joel Embiid at all. I think he's one of the best scoring big mans we have ever seen. I have a lot of respect for Joel Embiid. I mean, what he's had to go through, what he's put his body through, it just tremendous. The fact that he's still able to play at this level. He's one of my favorite big men of all time, honestly. Shout out to Joel Embiid. You also got Paul George as well. He can maybe make his first NBA Finals appearance. I think he's in like his 16th or 17th season. What a story that would be. You got the rookie VJ Edgecombe, who is looking like a future star in this league. Tyrese Maxey, an all-NBA performer. Like, this is a very talented Philadelphia 76ers team. And as a Celtics fan, I always feared if Joel Embiid is ever healthy Philadelphia could definitely run that East, and they took us out down 3-1, and they were able to make that 3-1 comeback. I mean, just Joel Embiid is an all-time player, in my opinion. This is a really good team. I would not want to play this Philadelphia 76ers team. If I was a Knicks fan personally, I would have rather have played the Celtics, honestly, than this Philadelphia 76ers team. I think this is going to be a hell of a series. I think it's a 7-game series. One thing I want to say is Joel Embiid versus Cat is going to be super interesting because if you don't know, in the past they have had a lot of beef, so that's going to be super interesting to see how that plays out in this series. But the Knicks, obviously you got Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby had a phenomenal series against the Atlanta Hawks, so shout out to him. Mikal Bridges definitely did not have a solid series, but I expect him to bounce back, especially for the team that drafted him. He's definitely going to have some motivation there. The team that drafted him on draft night and then traded him. Josh Hart, always, he's big in these playoff series. This is going to be such an entertaining series. I'm not missing a game of this series. This is going to be the game to kick off the night and kick off the second round. So I'm super interested in this. It starts in a couple hours. But me personally, I'm going to go Philadelphia in 7. I think this is the year for the Joel Embiid finals run. I just think they're on fire right now as long as they stay healthy. And I'm praying that Joel Embiid can stay healthy, man. I think this is the finals round for the Philadelphia 76ers. I got the Philadelphia 76ers in 7. I cannot wait for this series, though. Super pumped for this one. But give me Philly in 7. Now, going over to the Western Conference, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the San Antonio Spurs. What a defensive duel this is going to be from Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama, two of the best interior defenders we have ever seen, in my opinion. This is going to be so much fun to watch. I cannot wait. They're saying Anthony Edwards is actually expected to play in that game 1 tonight, which is going to be kind of weird because he hyperextended his knee. I expect this is probably going to be like a 65% healthy Anthony Edwards because he was already dealing with some knee injuries before that. And I think it's on a different knee this time. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 knee problems. I just don't know. I don't think he should play in this game 1, especially it being in San Antonio. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves have proven that they can win. Not that the Denver Nuggets and the Spurs are the same caliber of team. Obviously, I'm not going to say that, but I just would definitely rest him, especially for a game 1. I would definitely recommend resting a player that's not 100% healthy. If he's anything below like 80% healthy, I would always say rest him, especially for game 1. And if you steal game 1, then you could rest him for game 2. I just don't agree with this. It's not confirmed that he's going to play yet, so he still might not sit. He's going to do some pregame warm-ups, but I personally hope that Anthony Edwards does not play tonight in this game 1. But going over the series, guys, this is an interesting one. I always seem to doubt, and I think a lot of people can say this as well, we always seem to doubt the Minnesota Timberwolves. I had the Denver Nuggets beating Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games in this series, or in last round series, and they just always continue to prove me wrong. I don't want to sleep on the Minnesota Timberwolves, guys, but the Dante DiVincenzo injury, Julius Randle is kind of an up and down player, Naz Reid, I mean, they have a obviously solid team. I'm interested to see how Rudy Gobert can guard Victor Wembanyama. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I cannot wait to watch that. Ayo Dosunmu, Ayo Dosunmu has been listed as out for game 1, but if he plays, obviously you got to watch out for him. This is a super talented Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously led by Chris Finch. A lot of people don't like Chris Finch, but contrary to popular belief, I think Chris Finch is actually a pretty solid NBA coach, and when he gets in these playoff series, guys, he always exceeds expectations, making the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years, and they make it 3 years in a row, making the Western Conference Finals. I don't know, this is going to be a tough one. The San Antonio Spurs, the thing with them, they're a bit inexperienced. This is a lot of their players' first playoff series, and Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, obviously Dylan Harper, the rookie. So 3 of their 4 best players, it's their first playoff series. So I'm interested to see, I think if inexperience is going to make its way into this playoffs run for the San Antonio Spurs, it's definitely going to be now. I think the talent gap between San Antonio Spurs and the Portland Trailblazers, you were never going to see that inexperience just because, like I said, the talent gap is so ginormous there. But guys, this is a tough one for me because I could very well see like the Timberwolves pulling this off in like 6 or 7 games, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know, man. I think the Spurs, they got it, man. They're just so good. I'm going to take the Spurs in 6 games. I'm sorry, Minnesota Timberwolves fans, that I always doubt you. I don't know, man. Victor Wembanyama playing on a different level. This Spurs team is super good. I might regret this, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Spurs in 6 games. Now, for our final series, we got the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. What a series this is going to be if Luka Doncic can come back. I'm hoping he can come back for a game. I don't think he's going to play game 1, but maybe game 2 or game 3. If he's able to come back, guys, like this is going to be a better series than a lot of people are thinking. A lot of people are picking the Thunder to win in like 5 games. I think the Lakers are actually going to put up a fight in this series if Luka Doncic comes back. So it's kind of hard to predict this one because we don't know the status of Luka Doncic at the moment. But Austin Reeves is back now. To me, if Austin Reeves didn't get injured, that maybe could have been like an all NBA third teamer this year. So I refer to Austin Reeves as like an all NBA caliber player this season at least. And obviously LeBron James. Marcus Smart had such a good series versus the Houston Rockets, guys. I think he averaged like 20 and he shot like 50% from three. And then obviously in that game 3, got the big steal and then got the foul call for that 3-point play that really changed the game in game 3, and the Lakers were able to steal that game 3 and go up 3-0 in large parts of Marcus Smart. Like I said, that steal and that foul call. Like Marcus Smart, to me, as a Celtics fan, I obviously have a lot of love for Marcus Smart, but in these late game situations, he can just completely change the game with some of the stuff he's able to do. Like obviously, as a Celtics fan, I can remember that game against the Rockets, and he got that foul call in the Garden in the fourth quarter that really changed the game. So Marcus Smart, like I said, that obviously wasn't a playoff game, but just a regular season game that I could remember where he got that foul call on James Harden that he kind of did flop a little bit, I'll be honest, but he was able to get the call. Marcus Smart, like I said, I have so much love for Marcus Smart. The fact that he's able to play some playoff basketball like this, it makes me happy. And I hope he has a really good series. Expect him to maybe be guarding Shea, at least at the start of this series. So we'll see how he does with that assignment. Obviously, Shea, the best player in the league, so you can't really contain him too much. But I think Marcus Smart and his antics, maybe he can get inside of Shea's head. I know it's a bit hard. Dylan Brooks couldn't do it, so maybe Marcus Smart is not going to be able to do that either. But this is going to be a super fun series. I just really hope we can see Luka Doncic come back and play. I know Lou Dort is on the other side. Maybe be a little bit more cautious there in terms of rushing your recovery. But this is a series where, here's what I want to say. A lot of people, this kind of reminds me of the Celtics last year. So the Celtics, a lot of people picked them to win the NBA Finals or at least win the East. Like they were heavy favorites to win the East. And then when they got to that second round, see, it's really hard to go back to back and win the NBA championship. So not saying the Thunder are the Celtics from last year, but just remember, guys, just because you won the NBA Finals last year does not mean you're going to go back to back. I could very well see the Thunder doing it, but a lot of people could see the Celtics doing it last year, and they got out in the second round. So just saying, guys, it's not impossible for the Oklahoma City Thunder to lose this series, guys. I just want to put that out there right now. And the Lakers are better than a lot of people give them credit for. DeAndre Ayton actually had a very, very solid series. He's going to be matched up against Chet Holmgren. Want to see how he plays that matchup there, but I think the Lakers are playing some good basketball, and if Luka Doncic, like I said, I keep going back to Luka Doncic, because they're obviously going to need him in this series. And then J-Dub, we don't know the status of J-Dub. It's looking like he's not going to play game 1 or game 2, so without J-Dub, that's their second, third, I think he's the third best player, obviously Chet Holmgren, but scoring option, I definitely think he's the second best scoring option. AJ Mitchell has been, solid in carrying that second option scoring load at least. So shout out to AJ Mitchell for that. But I think if the Thunder want to win this series, they're going to need J-Dub. If Luka Doncic comes back, of course. Luka Doncic comes back and J-Dub doesn't, this can get scary for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I say all this to say, I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder in 6 games, but I'm not ruling out the Lakers maybe pulling off the upset in like 7 games. This is going to be a fun one. If Luka Doncic comes back, he plays Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is 2 top 5 players in the game, in my opinion. This would be such an amazing series. Please, Luka Doncic, I'm wishing you a speedy recovery, obviously, but I want you to come back and play in this series. But those are my predictions for these second round playoff matchups. I'm super pumped. Like I said, you guys can see the excitement. I'm super pumped for these series. And let me know down below what you guys think about my predictions. I had the Cavs in 6. I had Philly in 7. I had the Spurs in 6. And I had the Thunder in 6. So yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think about these predictions. And if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. It would help me out a ton. And maybe drop a like on this video. I definitely would appreciate that a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.